struggling to buy basic groceries to feed our kids. Is anyone out there? Hello, I'm the CEO of Kellogg's Cereal, whose opinion nobody asked for. Have you considered that you should have thought about that before you decided to become poor? How about y'all just eat our cheap-ass cereal for dinner and shut up about being hungry and stuff? Oh my God, wait a second. You're telling me that your solution to poverty is telling families to feed their kids the sugary, unhealthy cardboard flakes for dinner that the company that pays you $1 million a year just so happens to sell. Yeah, and if you don't mind, the sound of your poor person's stomach growling is interrupting steak and lobster Fridays with my wife and kids, so if you could just shoo. Do you want to know what else is sugary? CEO Gary Pilnick. Not listening, I don't care, I'm rich. Cake. No. Guys, bring out the guillotine.
Have you cut any ties with any friends over the genocide in Gaza?
I have, because at the end of the day, it's not about niceties when it's something this serious. Genocide is nothing to maintain a shitty friendship over, so we don't need those kinds of people in our life.
I've unfollowed people for posting things like saying that Hamas is at fault for the current genocide.
How did you learn about Palestine?
Full disclosure, I went to a boarding school and one of my best friends is Palestinian. I actually went to their brother's wedding last year and got the pleasure of going to the West Bank.
I first learned about Palestine because I went to a march in 7th grade with my friend who is anti-Zionist, and I'm a teacher now and I teach about Palestine.
Are your students shocked when they learn about Palestine, or do they also have a background?
Yeah, we just learned about the Nakba this week, and we learned about just colonialism in general, and I feel like our schools don't teach enough about that, and so yes, it's a shock, but I think it makes a lot of sense to them because our students are mostly marginalized people here in the States, so it's like solidarity building.
Every single actress or actor or musician that dresses up in the headdress of the feather, pretending to be native or wearing native regalia in a disrespectful way is wrong. This includes icons like Cher, the Village People, Indian Man, even Snoop Dogg. And the big argument that a lot of people make is, well, if you're native, you can wear it. Not quite. So the Native American headdress is not a fashion statement. It's not a piece of clothing. It is regalia. That means it's worn with a purpose. It's worn in ceremony. It's worn as an honor. And even the feather has meaning. Strong meaning. Feathers are something that are very meaningful to Native people. And it's kind of illegal to own real feathers in the United States. Unless you're native. Just putting that out there. It would be the equivalent to a civilian wearing a full military outfit. Not a fake military outfit. A full, like, Army, Marine, Air Force outfit. And then also wearing all of, like, the stripy things. I don't even know what they're called. Or the badges, or the medals, or a purple heart. I'm walking around in the street and having people going, thank you for your service. But you didn't serve anywhere. You literally just got a uniform and put it on. And if we started calling the military uniform a costume, how do you think that would make a good old red-blooded American feel? Probably angry. Go up to anybody that served in the military and say nice costume, see if they get angry. So the same thing can be said about the Native American headdress or any Native American clothing like this shown from Outcast. We natives have a problem with it, not only because it's disrespectful to our sacred items, but also we are the lowest minority group. Our women are being unalived at an alarming rate. Many of us don't have access to clean water, healthcare services. And we're constantly having to fight for what little we have left because, as you know, the governments hate keeping the treaties that they create with us. They'll keep it with everybody else, but not with us. So yes, it's a huge deal and it's a huge problem, and it is wrong for any actor, actress, musician, or just regular person to put on a headdress and pretend to be a native.
I think what's funny is that no matter what you think of Aron Bush, all the stuff coming out about him in the past week has shown that he had a more principled disability justice stance and praxis than most of the people mourning him. That photo of him posted up at the mutual aid food distribution site in an N95, the way that his friends were talking about how he refused to give in to Satanism and would try and get his friends to not say those slurs either. Meanwhile, people are holding super spreader vigils for him. It really makes you think.
Imagine seeing me in public and calling me miss. Who looks more mentally unstable? Me?
Alright, time to watch One Piece. Gay people? I don't really like how he broke Zoro out of jail. He's a criminal. I don't know how I feel about this Usopp character. Actually, I'm kind of glad he broke Zoro out now. He's taking out the real criminals. What the? More gay people? Wait, I don't get it. Why'd they overthrow Doflamingo? He worked hard to get to where he's at. Plus, he's raising the country's GDP. Like, I think my least favorite characters are Fisher Tiger, Jinbei, Usopp, and Usopp's dad. Whoa. He's breaking all those people out of jail, and there's more gay people? Also not a big fan of Ivankov and Bon Clay. Why are they trying to make these revolutionaries look like heroes? They're murderers. Trans people? Well, maybe if the people of O'Hara just followed the law and stopped resisting, they'd still be around today. Wait, Luffy's just giving those poor people food without a profit motive? Oh, damn, the Celestial Dragon just shot that bystander. Well, maybe he shouldn't have been looking at him weirdly though. Wait, why is Chopper just healing people without charging them? Nah, I can't watch this shit no more.
I call upon all nations to do everything they can to stop these terrorist killers. Thank you. Now watch this drive. All right. Huh?
Drop it to the flow then.
I would never fall in love again until I found her.
I just took a pregnancy test and it's positive, so that explains all the nausea I've been having lately. Everybody experiences nausea. Yes, but it stems from different reasons. Early in pregnancy, a lot of people experience intense nausea and even vomiting due to their changing body. Everybody experiences nausea. You're not special. You don't look pregnant to me anyway. Oh, this pregnancy is killing my lower back. It's really hurting. Everybody experiences back pain sometimes. Seriously, it doesn't mean it's because you're pregnant. I had to stop eating spicy foods because the heartburn was just getting too bad. I've got to accommodate myself and try not to trigger the heartburn because it's just, it's intense. Everybody gets heartburn sometimes. Why would you stop eating something that you enjoy eating? Doesn't mean it's from pregnancy. You don't know what you're talking about. I am so tired all the time. I am so tired. Being pregnant, it just drains the energy out of me. It's like everything's hurting and I'm so tired. I worked a 40-hour week. I'm tired. I'm exhausted. Stop using your pregnancy as an excuse for all of these things. Just stop. Everybody gets tired sometimes. Just stop.
We are literally on the verge of a neo-feudalistic society.
Motivation to keep this fight going.
Not to interrupt, but they just laid us all off.
Oh.
Yeah, they just laid us all off.
I guess we just all
Our jobs are ended today, effective immediately.
Wow.
Yeah, wow. Google just literally laid off a group of unionized workers who were in the middle of trying to negotiate a new contract, which Google obviously does not want to do. Problem is, it is illegal for Google, or any company for that matter, to not negotiate with a union in good faith, according to the U.S. National Labor Relations Board. This is where things are now starting to get crazy. There is now a growing movement among megacorporations to ban the NLRB, which was created back in 1935 to help enforce labor laws. Companies like Amazon, SpaceX, Trader Joe's, they've all recently sued the NLRB and are arguing that its very existence is unconstitutional. Why? Because they're losing the narrative. For the longest time, corporations and the corporate media have been trying to convince Americans that unions are bad. But it doesn't look like it's working because according to Gallup, U.S. approval of labor unions are at its highest point since 1965. So now their only solution is really to go out of their way to destroy the oversight agency that enforces labor rights. So kind of like, go ahead, form your union, but we're just gonna go ahead and fire you after that because who's gonna stop us?
This is a story of white allyship gone wrong. Have you heard this speech before?
I have borne 13 children and seen most all sold off to slavery. And when I cried out with my mother's grief, none but Jesus heard me. And ain't I a woman?
This speech by Sojourner Truth is widely considered one of the most well-known speeches in American history.
And ain't I a woman? Ain't I a woman?
And it never happened. In 1851, a group of white women's rights activists came together in Akron, Ohio to talk about the systemic mistreatment of women. The problem is that the growing women's rights movement should have been called the white women's rights movement. I mean, they barely acknowledged the existence of black women. In fact, Sojourner Truth was the only black woman in attendance at the 1851 conference. And despite fierce opposition from the white women there, she was asked to give a speech. And she did not disappoint. The speech was brief, but insightful and poetic. And as such, a transcript of the speech was published in the Anti-Slavery Bugle in June of 1851, just months after she gave the speech. But this is where things get weird. The speech fell into relative obscurity until it was republished 12 years later in 1863 by this woman. That's Frances Gage, a well-meaning anti-slavery ally. The problem is that she didn't republish what Sojourner Truth actually said. She changed basically everything, adding a minstrel show-like Southern slave accent to the text.
I have born 13 children, and I seen most all of them sold off to slavery.
Sojourner Truth never said that. She was from the North and grew up around Dutch immigrants. She didn't have a Southern accent, and she only had 5 kids. Frances Gage essentially reimagined the speech in a caricatured slave talk voice. She erased the deeply thoughtful and theologically rich words of Sojourner in exchange for stereotypical jive. There's a valuable lesson on allyship here. Perhaps she thought she was communicating the words of Sojourner in a way that white people would receive. But marginalized people don't need interpreters, they need amplifiers. Sojourner Truth's actual words cut through the noise of stereotype and situated her as a thoughtful mouthpiece for the rights of all women. She didn't fit into the little box that society had made for her, because she was never meant to.
Honest question, genuine question. Why don't leftists care about masking? Why aren't supposed radical, socially conscious people, why aren't they masking? Like, we're in a full-on pandemic raging, disabling hundreds of thousands of people, if not millions. We care about liberation, but not for the disabled. I genuinely do not understand the dissonance. We claim to care about communal safety, but like not about community when it comes to a virus that's spreading and acts like HIV in a lot of ways. COVID, it's a damaging virus. It's truly a damaging virus. And the denial and the passivity of leftist people in masking, I can't grasp it, man. Our government has lied to us about everything, but they haven't withheld things about COVID. Like COVID's the thing that we can trust them on. I'm at a loss. I'm at a loss. I just don't get it.